down. Lie down. Lie down. Lie down. Lie down. Lie down. Away. 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 Away.
Oh, is she really
Good. 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 Good job. Good job. Now, away.
playing the game?
Go on, get around. Good, good. Get on the fence.
Playing the game.
That's it. Leave it.
And the guy playing this game.
Away. Away. Settle down. Settle. Settle down. Good. Away. 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 There, come by. Come by. Get on the fence. Get on the fence. Come by. Get on the good. No. Good. Good. Good boy. Good boy. Come by. You got it. Come by. Good. Come by. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good. There. Away. Away. Good. Away. Come on, pull it out. Away. There you go. Get on the fence. Good. Away. I'm sorry. Come back. I don't know what I'm doing now. It's an away. Away. Good boy. Good boy. Away. Away. Get on the fence. Good. Away. Away. Good boy. On the fence. Good boy. Good boy. Get out of there. Now you're being dirty. Come on. Hey. Away. Away. Look back. Get out of that. Dirty. Away. Good. 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 We lost one. Good. Get on the fence. Hey. Away. Good. Away. I heard you, Jasper. Away. Good. Good boy. Away. Hi guys, so today I'm actually going to show you our garden, which we weren't going to grow this year, but so many people gave us starts and seeds and potato starts, which I've never grown potatoes before, so we have a garden. So I'm going to show you what we're growing. Okay, in these two beds, this one and this one are all of the potato starts my friend Jen gave me. You guys, I've never grown potatoes before, so this is a first. And I listened to Jess with Roofs and Refuse, where she just laid them on the top and then put straw over them, which we do have a little bit of fertilizer from the rabbits in that. And we'll probably mound them one more time because I learned that these are determinate. So how did I learn that these were determinate? Well, I talked to my friend Jen, asked her, she didn't know. So then we talked about how they grew last year in her garden, and she said she was only able to mound them one time, and she continued mounding them but didn't get extra potatoes. So that means they're determinate. Indeterminate, you mound them a whole lot and you'll continue to get more and more potatoes. So that's what I've learned about potatoes this year. So I've got a couple of beds we'll go along. This is the east side of the garden beds. This first part that's all brown, I've planted a ton of lavender. And then behind that, right there, there's 4 blackberry plants. We absolutely love blackberries in this family, and we couldn't have enough, really. So we also were given, if you look behind me here, this whole row, we've planted 12 plants of raspberries. So my friend Kelly, her mom had a whole bunch of raspberries that were escaping from her planted area, and she told us to just come get them and we could have them. We planted a ton and we shared some with a few of our friends, but we planted 12, and so that's definitely going to get our raspberry beds started. I'm so excited. They're doing really, really well. So this is my pathway in between my 2 potatoes. And on the edging, I planted more lavender. I literally just sprinkled the seeds along the ground there, and we actually got a ton of rain and it watered everything. So this is our very first bed here in the garden that we planted. I have kale. This is kale. I'm not really sure what brand. I'm pretty sure it's the Crinkle brand or whatever. We have this plant I did purchase. So we have chives here that have obviously already gone to bloom. This plant was also given to us by Kelly's mom. We have some cherry tomatoes, and I know, you guys, this plant's gonna get ginormous, but by the time this plant gets ginormous, we have some others of these planted over there, and they should be ready to harvest, so we'll be able to pull that. And I'm hoping this kale plant will just kind of leaf over. We'll see. This was given to me by my friend Colleen and Virgil. She started some starts for us this year, and all of my tomato plants and pepper plants came from her. So this little plant, and I have 3 of them, is actually a sugar bush, which is where they get stevia from. So I'm going to be growing my very own stevia. And this one that's not doing super well, which I think is because it's close to this tomato, I'm going to pull this one out and put it in a pot. We're going to take that one in and overwinter it and be able to get starts from it next year. They're extremely fickle. They don't like starting from seeds, so the best way to start them is from cuttings from a plant or purchasing starts. Way over here, we ended up getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strawberry plants from our friend Kelly's mom. That came with the raspberries, 1 of the blackberry plants, and the chives. And then over in this corner, I tucked in a rosemary bush. It's really little. I hope that it does well. This isn't really the state for rosemary to grow really well. So we have to replant them every single year, but it's literally my favoriteest herb. You guys, when I realized we were going to be planting a garden, I absolutely had to purchase that rosemary plant. It's my favorite. Okay, so in between our 2 metal beds, we're filling that one still, and we're filling this one still. As you can see, we've got a whole lot of sticks and straw and rabbit manure in there, and we'll pretty soon be putting in our dirt to start planting in. But in between our 2 beds is where all of our herbs are. So On this side, we have oregano, dill, parsley, and cilantro. And you guys, I planted the entire bag of seeds. You know, those little paper ones that have like 1,000 seeds in them? So we could be inundated. Make sure that you come back so that you can see whether we are or not. And then over here, we have thyme, basil, and that whole section over here is all chives because Kimmy and I both love chives. And so I planted again the entire packet of all of those. We do not have a huge growing season here, and this was a way that I could just grow as much as I possibly could in the short season that we have and just see how much we get, and then we'll figure out what to do with it. It's kind of called chaos gardening. All right, so this is my second bed that we started last year and got it all filled. We planted a little bit. We really didn't get very much. We had a couple of volunteer lettuces, but we also have had a chickmunk get up in here. So these are the plants that Colleen and Virgil started for us. These are all peppers. There's a couple of hot peppers, and then there's also a couple of bell peppers. So I love bell peppers. I'm not a big fan of the hot ones, but Kimmy is, so she's gonna love that. We also have 2 more cherry tomato plants that will give us everything that we need for salads and all kinds of stuff. We have also planted this bed with lettuce. I just kind of spread it around, and I need to put down a layer of mulch on this too. But the lettuce, we have some volunteer from last year that's coming up right here. This is a volunteer onion from last year. We'll see how that does. I have a second kale. It was struggling really hard, but it looks like it's starting to bounce back, so that's awesome. This was the only purchased plant in this entire bed. The seeds for the lettuce, like I said, I spread it all over, but they're like 3-year-old seeds, so we'll just see how they do. And then this is a third cherry tomato. And we're supposed to have 3 different kinds of cherry tomatoes, but Colleen said that they got marked and then the marker disappeared. So we're gonna have surprise tomatoes, and I love that. I'm so excited for that. Then along this back fence line, my grandson and I planted a ton of wildflowers. So I'm really, really excited to see what comes up. I haven't pulled anything that was actually in there, and I haven't covered it. So I do know there are some sunflowers in here, and then there's tons and tons of wildflowers. And let's face it, we're girls, we like the flowers. I can't wait for them to come up and see what actually does well. So we have a few more things that we're going to be planting in this garden. We're adding peas, and let's see, we have seeds for peas, we have seeds for beans and cucumbers, and we do have some more onion starts that we're going to be planting around the potatoes, because I learned that onions and potatoes are good companion plants. Okay, you guys, this is going to be the first tour of the garden, and like I said, this was a super last minute. We are going to be starting some grapes also. We got some clippings from our friend Darla and Randy, and we're going to be doing some arches and putting the grapes on the arches. We have 2 different kinds, Concord and another one that's green. Don't really know what the name of that is. But for the fact that we really weren't going to be starting a garden and we didn't want to spend any money, this was a really good size garden this year for basically free. So let me tell you, ask your friends, check out the things, purchase the things that you really want to grow. For instance, the stevia plant, we're going to take in, we're going to pot it, we're going to overwinter it inside, and then I'm going to share starts with everybody. And I'm going to plant as much of that as I possibly can. That way I'm producing my own sugar-free sweetener. I mean, that's a huge savings. And hopefully next year, we probably won't get berries this year, but that's okay, we will next year. And so this year was just about planting the things that were handed to us, that were given to us, that God brought into our space, and we put them down, and we'll baby them all winter long, all summer long. One of the things that we have to do, and why we weren't going to do a garden this year, is because we haul our water in up here and it gets really hot and drought up here in the summertime. And here in the background you can see my water tank. And what we're going to do is we're going to raise them up on these pallets so that we can then bring the water over here, and we can slowly, hopefully slowly, water everything, have a drip irrigation or maybe a soaker hose or something like that. This white PVC pipe that you see on top of here was also given to me by my friend Darcy, and it has holes in it. She's doing her garden last year. She's doing something else this year. So we got these and we're gonna give it a try and see how it does. We may end up putting those on the raspberries so that we can do that whole system. You guys, for those of you that don't know and haven't been watching, behind the garden off to the east is our 3 sheep, and we do herding with the Corgis, and I'll definitely be showing you videos of those because farm dogs are really important. But up on the hill we have a swimming pool that can hold 1,000 gallons, and we're going to fill that, allow the duck, we only have 1 right now, we may get a couple more, to hang out in there, fertilize that water, and then we'll be able to fertilize this area with some deep soaking, hopefully a couple of times during the month, and that will help everything succeed and grow. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. I do want to show you the goats too. They're a big part of this farm. Miss Darla right here is pregnant and should have babies at the end of June. So make sure you come back so you can watch those babies grow and watch our garden grow. We really appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you know that when we put out a new video. Thanks guys, bye. This is clematis. It's gonna grow up over our archway so that when we walk into the garden, we're surrounded by beauty immediately.